Hello, everyone. My name is Will from Basketball Network, and today we have a special guest on our podcast. We have Jeremy Pargo on the other end. Jeremy has, he has an extensive international NBA career. He's now playing with the Big Three with the Detroit Amps. We're going to talk about his experience playing in the Big Three. We're going to talk about his extensive basketball career, which spanned, for the past 2 decades almost.
Mhm.
And it's a pleasure to have you on the show, Jeremy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Will.
So we're going to start with the Big Three because this is something that's ongoing. It seems like the league has taken another level in its development and bringing more audience to the actual games and actually following the league. And you built quite a name for yourself in the Big Three. You went undrafted in 2019, got picked up late by the Power. You had tremendous success with the triplets, and now you're making your way with the Detroit Amplifiers.
Mhm.
What does this chapter of your career mean to you, and how is it different from all the steps you've been through before?
It's different because it's one is here in the States. So it being 3-on-3 basketball and being able to play. I was able to play on the same team with my brother for 3 years, with my good friend Joe, and able to play with some friends now. So that's very different and it's exciting. With it being 3-on-3 and 3-on-3 just being added to the Olympics and all of that makes it a global game and makes it a little more fun.
Mm-hmm. And you've been with the Big Three for a while now. You also been All-Star 3 times. What's the difference in the approach between the Big Three versus 5-on-5 basketball? What do you see is is it the skill set? Is it the strategy? Like, what do you see as the main difference?
Obviously, it's a lot more space. The game is a small bit of slower pace because you're not up and down. So you still approach the game just like any other game because you want to come out there and give your best performance and play to win every time you step on the court. So the mentality stepping out there is to understand the strategy a little better and pick and choose your times when to be aggressive and when not to be aggressive to allow your team to be at its best.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And when talking about the Big Three and its evolution in the last few years, how did it change in terms of you're now representing a city, which is a bit different than the setup that you had previously. Like, how is this transition for you? Like, what do you see it as an advantage, or
It's I don't know if it's an advantage, but it definitely comes with a little more added I don't know the correct word, but a little added influence or
Mhm,
emotion or a little more motivation, you could say,
mhm,
because you're playing with a city across your chest, and that city has a lot of pride and
mhm,
in the way they go about things with the toughness, with the grit, with the grind, and that is something that we try and instill from that Detroit culture. And unfortunately, we weren't able to get the win this past week in Detroit. So, we got to get ready for this week coming up and, come out there and try and get another one.
mhm. And if I and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you played in 5 games so far this season.
Yeah.
What is the feel like now after 5 games? It's only 5 games, but it's still a certain sample size where you can kind of see, okay, these are the teams that maybe are the favorites. You can see the synergy between your team. Like, what have you figured out so far in these 5 games in terms of your team, yourself, and also the opposing teams?
So for us, unfortunately, we had Joe get hurt in the second game of the year, and he's out for the year. So that takes some adjustment. That takes some adjustment to come out when you lose a piece as big as Joe. So me personally, I have to find my footing and play better throughout these next 3 games. We have a really big opportunity in front of us as a team, and we're going to do everything we can to come out and take advantage. Everyone's it's a big crowd of teams right now with just about the same record. So no one's ahead of the pack right now, but I'm pretty sure the world would think other teams, a lot of teams are ahead, or this team is ahead because of who's based on who's on the team. But that at the end of the day, you have to play the game. You have to get wins, whether you're superstars or not. So we're going to come out and do everything we can every single week. It doesn't matter who we play against. It doesn't matter who's on the other team. We have to come out and play as us and be who we are.
Mm-hmm. And now you've got George Iceman Gervin on, as a coach in Detroit. What's it like working with such a legendary figure? And what's the biggest thing that you've taken away from him so far in terms of
it's actually really fun playing for George, because George has a young soul, man. Personality, great coach. He enjoys what he does, and he always has a smile on his face. You can't be mad at a guy that's always smiling ever. So I enjoy playing for him, and I'm happy I got to play for him. Happy I got to really be around him and get to meet such a great person and a great basketball player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a legend. In full respect. Like, there's a lot of respect that people have for him and everything that he accomplished in the league, and he was truly an iconic figure. So he must have a bunch of a lot of wisdom to share especially for someone who's willing to learn something new.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like the Big Three has been quite a battleground lately. Who's the toughest matchup that you faced so far, like from your point of view, and who's the best trash talker you've gone up against so far?
The best trash talker is
Gary Payton.
It's probably gonna be Gary Payton every
Really?
year.
He doesn't stop, right?
Never stops. But GP's my guy. I love Gary Payton. But he's definitely going to talk his trash, and it's always with respect. Well, at least when we talk trash, we talk with respect. Michael Beasley has been doing really well at his shit talking this year. But I don't really trash talk is trash talking. It is what it is. But the game has to be played.
Exactly. But does it actually? Do you think all players maybe have the same mindset as you do, where you kind of you don't care that much about it, but some players
I
think
think
is motivation for them, or actually
some people
part of the game.
Yeah, some people. I think trash talking motivates me. I don't initiate it. If it comes my way, I'm all for it. But it's a part of the game. This is American basketball. This is very different over here with the trash talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could bring one past or present player to join you in the Big Three, who would it be and why?
It would be Michael Jordan, obviously.
That's a very makes sense.
Michael Jordan, the greatest to ever do it. But I mean, if you're talking advantage, then Shaquille O'Neal is one advantage you can't beat.
You think if you would bring Shaq from today, now he's like 50 something years old?
No.
No. We're talking about prime Shaq or
Shaq, how old is Shaq now? 50, like 56, 50, 57?
I think he's 52, 53, something like this.
Maybe I'm giving him too many years, and maybe I'm tripping. Sorry, Shaq, if I aged you by some years, I apologize. But yeah, I mean, why would Shaq come out there and try and play basketball with us? There's no point for him to try to. He's done so much in his career. He does so much right now off the court. It's no need for him to come out there with us.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk to you about a bit about your career, because you've been, as I mentioned, you've been on the your career is almost like 2 decades long, which is quite an accomplishment in itself, especially with a lot of players, usually, for the most part, a lot of them, they retire in their early mid-30s, but you're still going strong. You had a very decorated college career. You were a WCC Player of the Year. What do you remember most about your time at Gonzaga, on and off the court? Because you were also covered on the Sports Illustrated cover as well. There was a lot of success there during your college days. Like, what do you remember the most?
Not sure. But I know it's a lot of good memories in there. I had a game where I think I had 10 turnovers. And we lost to a team that we shouldn't have lost to. But we played again the next night. And the next night I came out. I think I set I don't know if it's a record, but I think I had maybe 10 points and 18 assists or something like that in the game. So that was a memorable moment for turning it around. But I think the biggest memorable moments all come from Adam Morris. Being on that team, watching him and what he was able to do in that season was unbelievable. So, yeah, I don't think the most memorable moments will come from myself if I had to dig down deep into it.
Well, I think a lot of people wouldn't say this, but yeah, I mean, you know, Adam Morrison, he had his time in Gonzaga was crazy. Like he was super popular, and he was really playing out of his mind.
Yeah, 29.
He was the next big thing. But it's funny because a lot of players that do well in college, like some of them, their game doesn't transition well into the NBA. Well, at least not to an extent that people are expecting. Even though
it also that's a part of it, but it's also where you are in terms of who you're playing for, what team and the system, and just a lot of things that goes into it. And I think Larry Brown was Adam's coach, and it's a long history of Larry Brown not liking rookies. Him going into that situation had to be very difficult. And then I think he got hurt in his third year. So, it was just some ups and downs in there, but situations are always better for other people. And who's to say his career wouldn't have been a 20-point average or something like that if he went to a different coach that was okay with allowing rookies to learn on the job.
Mm-hmm. But well, good thing the silver lining is that he got a title with the Lakers.
For sure.
So that's definitely a lot of players you have players that are playing 15, 20 years in the NBA. They're successful, but they can never get a title, and sometimes you just have to be lucky to find yourself in the right situation.
Yeah, for sure. And I saw Adam this summer. He's happy, so that's the most important thing.
Yeah, exactly. As long as he's happy and everything, that's all that matters. But you went undrafted in 2009. You played overseas. You had tremendous success in Israel. Can you like describe your journey? Going undrafted, going to Israel, having immediate success for Apoel. Then you later played for Macabi as well, which are like two staple teams in Israel. How did that journey went on for you? Like what was the process?
So my first year was with Gilil Gaboa, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into when I was leaving to go to Europe. And I guess you can't even count Israel as Europe because it's technically a part of Asia. So we land, and I've heard stories about how amazing Israel is and how nice it is, how much it's like America and all of that. And I land in a beautiful city, city of Tel Aviv. But then I get in the car and we drive an hour away. And as I'm riding, I'm like, what the am I getting myself into? So it was a difficult adjustment. But when the court is 94 feet, 3-point line, the basket's 10 feet, and it's all the same, it's still basketball at the end of the day, that is the great equalizer that can make everything okay. So I was able to just lean on that and find my way. Obviously, it was some ups and downs in that year. Started out unbelievable and hit some bumps in the middle of the season. But I think we clicked at the right time late in the year because we ended up beating Macabi in the championship. And Macabi at that point had won, I think like 52 out of 56 or 57 championships in Israel. And we to win that as like a 4 or 5 seed in the playoffs or something. And that sparked the career of what I became in Israel. So that was a blessing right there.
Mm-hmm. And you finally get a call from Memphis in 2011. What did that moment mean for you? Because you went undrafted, you went to play in Israel, in Europe, Israel, and then you went back to the States. How did that?
That was one of the happiest days of my life, I guess you can say, especially when it comes to basketball, because you have a lifelong dream of playing in the NBA. And when I got the call that I was on my way there was unbelievable. I ran around the house celebrating. So Yeah, that was a heck of a moment for me right there, and I was happy I was able to live it.
Hmm. And you later played for Cleveland and the Sixers. What's one like matchup from those days that kind of made you realize, okay, wow, I'm here. I'm in the best league in the world. I'm competing against the best players. I belong here.
That came that came in Memphis actually. I think it was the second game of the year. Mike Conley got hurt with 10 minutes left in the first quarter, so I was the backup point at the time, so I had to slide into the starting minutes. And that game was against OKC. Well, Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. We didn't win a game, but I had a pretty good game. I played pretty good defense with Russ, who's an unbelievable, super unbelievable top 75 player of the year, not in the year of all time.
Hmm.
So I ended up playing well. That gave me confidence there. Next game we played against Houston. Confidence was still there. And like I said, bumps in the road come. So I hit some bumps and got to Cleveland the next season, and Kyrie got hurt, and I started. I know I had 5 and 5 that game. And that moment is where I really learned, like, I'm able to do this at the highest level.
Hmm. And you shared the court with some, serious NBA talent. Like, who's one teammate or opponent from your NBA days that really made a lasting impression on you, and why?
Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving?
I think he's probably the most skilled basketball player of all time. The things he was able to do in practice, in games, and it was just his second year. He wasn't even 21 at the time. It was unreal to watch. So seeing what he has been and what he's become and where he's going is unbelievable, and I still enjoy watching it. So, yeah, Kyrie Irving is unbelievable. But if we really want to deep dive, the person that is most influential and all of that is my brother, Gennaro Pargo, who's played in the NBA for 12 years and never had more than a 1-year deal. So he had to make the team almost every other year, and it was unbelievable to see my brother go through that and become what he became as a basketball player.
Yeah, and I actually I remember when I was back in the day when you had NBA Live. I think it was 2008. I remember I used to play with your brother
Yeah.
on NBA Live. It was not even NBA 2K. I still remember
Yeah.
it to this day.
Mm-hmm.
But like did your brother give you any kind of blueprint on what it takes to be an NBA player? I mean, he probably did share a lot of advice. Like, can you share some?
It's not even advice that was shared, but seeing what he and how he did it was more than enough of a blueprint. All the way from high school throughout the NBA, throughout his career, has always been, even into coaching, it's always been a blueprint laid by him. And I do what I can to follow it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's nice because especially if you have an older brother and you want to achieve the same thing as he does, and he's kind of laying out the ground before you, so you can maybe learn from his mistakes a bit, and not kind of deal with the same issues that he maybe he was dealing with at the time.
Absolutely.
I want to talk. So you played all over the world. Israel, Russia, China. You played for two very dominant teams in CSKA from Moscow. You played for Macabi. Usually every year they are one of the best teams competing for the EuroLeague championship. Like, how would you describe these two teams, like playing for these two teams? Because especially they come from different cultures. I mean, different countries that have different cultures. They're both like the pride of those countries. Like, how did that feel? I mean, especially when you played with Maccabi, you went all the way to the EuroLeague final. Like, that must have been crazy as well.
And if I play a little better, we win the championship. But that Panathinaikos team we lost to was very tough. If we see them in a 5-game series, it's a different result. But walking that traditional European style of basketball that they played with was a little tough for us. So that's a tough moment to relive right there. But playing for that club was unbelievable. The energy that the country of Israel has behind Maccabi is unbelievable, especially when it comes to playing around Europe. Playing for CSKA is a very different culture. Russia is a different place. So you have to be willing and ready to walk into a different situation and perform at the highest levels. We had a team that was pretty much an NBA team, if you ask me.
Yeah.
We played in the preseason against Minnesota and San Antonio. We beat Minnesota, and we should have beat San Antonio. We gave up a late layup in that game. So we had a very stacked team, and that year we lost in the EuroLeague Final Four that year on a very unfortunate play. But it's all a learning experience, and you go for it from all of it.
And you quickly brought up the difference between the European style of basketball and the one from the US. What do you see actually as the biggest difference? Like, what was it's for you, or like, can you break down the main difference that you saw that was maybe a challenge or?
The NBA is the court is wider because of the 3-point line being deeper. So now you have more space in the NBA. The level of athleticism that you deal with in NBA, Europe can't match that level of athleticism. Is unreal. But the skill level and the chess playing of the European game is very different than in the NBA. Because it's a lot of guys in Europe that aren't just flat out gifted in terms of athleticism and just flat out talent like the NBA. The NBA is the most talented league in the world. You have a difference with the NBA because you're playing 82 games. Every game isn't a championship. In Europe, you're playing 30 regular season games. Every single game counts. So it's a different approach to every game. It's let's throw this one down the drain and let's move on. There's none of those games. You're gonna dwell on every game, and one thing about it, the fans are gonna make sure you dwell on every game. I think now it's a little the guys that are playing now in the EuroLeague, it's a little more. I guess you have to move on a little faster because you're playing more games in a week now, which makes it a little more fun because you're not just one game a week. Next week you gotta, so it's just a difference with the speed of the game. And you're playing 8 minutes more in the NBA. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. So, if you can adapt to both situations, you have a chance to be a very good player in this game of basketball.
And there's obviously you have the games, the structure of the game, and like you mentioned, the difference in athleticism. European games look like a chess match. They also, like, a big difference that a lot of people are starting to notice is the atmosphere in Europe.
It's not even close.
What's the wildest crowd or
it's Serbia. Serbia is Red Star, Partizan. Those are very, very, very high level games, especially when you're in a big arena when it's 24,000 people going crazy. Panathinaikos is really big as well. Fenerbahce has a great arena, but Fenerbahce seats 12,000. Pana's like 25.
Yeah.
So, it's a different level.
And, because of your, like, international experience and the fact that you played in different countries and for different coaches, like, what did that teach you about the game, and where did you have the most fun as a player?
David Blatt, easily, hands down. David Blatt, one of the best coaches I've ever had. He knows how to make the game enjoyable. He knows how to demand what he wants, but he also understands people and players. So I truly, truly love playing for David Blatt, and he'll always have a special place in my heart.
And he later got the opportunity finally to coach Cavaliers.
Yeah, and it's a very unfortunate situation with what went on there. You go to the finals, you lose your two of your best players, and then the next year, after one bad loss or whatever it is, you lose your job, which is a little crazy because they still were the number one team in the East, which is an unfortunate situation. But this is what the NBA is. It's not like Europe.
Yeah.
Final decisions here. That's Europe. That's not here.
Yeah, and I assume that there's a lot of politics behind the closed doors where you never know what's actually happening.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what went on with that, but I know in this in the world of the NBA, when you got a guy making $50 million a year and the coach is making $4 million a year, one guy's a little more expendable than the other. Europe is the club will always side with the coach in Europe, whether the coach is wrong or not. They'll always side with the coach. In America, it's a player's game, and I actually appreciate both sides of it, America and Europe.
Mm-hmm. You've been in locker room with all types of players and coaches. Okay, you now mentioned David Blatt as one of the people that had a lot of influence on you. Is there a player or a teammate that also left that type of impression on you?
A good impression?
Yeah.
I've had some great teammates, and again, Kyrie Irving is always going to stand out because of who he is as a person, and how we bonded in that year. We weren't very good, but we all bonded in that year. Kyrie Irving is very, very high level. Alonzo G from that team. Drew Holiday is an unbelievable person. We don't speak much, but every time he sees my brother, something he asks about me. So I always shout out to Drew and his family. So we just it's just a big family with this NBA thing. Once you get that snap, it's a respect thing that comes with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we have a lot of young players nowadays. They're thinking about going pro, to become a pro. A lot of young kids nowadays, they dream of becoming NBA players, but what they fail to realize, at least most of them, I guess, is that there's only 450 roster spots available. So if there's a lot of players that take actually they don't take a traditional path to the league. What's the biggest advice that you would give them about carving out the career actually become a basketball player, because it's not an easy journey?
But coming from a player that didn't take the traditional route to the NBA,
Mm-hmm.
You have to give yourself every opportunity they can to be in that situation. So just because you don't go the traditional way or go undrafted doesn't mean your career is over. Doesn't mean you're not going to make it to the NBA. Just means your route is unconventional, and you have to do everything you can to give yourself that opportunity. When you get that opportunity, you got to do everything you can to survive in that opportunity, because the odds are stacked against you. And it's not to say that you're not good enough. It's not to say that you don't belong, but it is guys that's going to get more cracks at it than you. And life isn't fair. You can't sit around here crying about something being unfair. Nothing's fair in life. So you have to do what you can to exhaust every opportunity. And if you do that, I think you'll be fine. And you have to understand that everyone's not the same. So if you start watching what someone else is doing, or how someone else is being treated, or the opportunities that someone else gets, you're going to step on your own opportunity and get in your own way. So if you can find a way to focus on you and run your race and take advantage of your opportunities, I think you have a chance to be anything you want to be.
Mm-hmm. And I think you actually made a great point here. You know what they say: if one door closes, the other one opens. You just have to you just have to have the you just have to realize that there's an opportunity there, and you have to snatch it, because you never know when you're gonna get another one.
Absolutely.
I want to finish off this interview with a few quick hitters. If you had to pick like a starting lineup from all the European teams that you played with, who would be a starting lineup, including yourself?
Okay, so I'm playing the point, right?
Yep.
I'm going with. Oh, this is tough.
You played with a lot of good players.
I'm going with Kyle Hines at the 5.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Hines at the 5. David Beluthenthal at the 4.
Mm-hmm.
At the 3, I'm probably going to go Devin Smith. At my 2, who am I putting there? I'm actually going to put Devin Smith at the 2. I'm going to move Devin to the 2. And at the 3 now, It's probably gotta be. It's probably gotta be Sonny Weems at the 3.
That's a mean starting five when it
Yeah,
comes to.
Sonny at the 3.
And what about the NBA from all your teammates that you played with in the NBA?
Counting me because I wouldn't put myself on that team.
You can do whatever you like. I would always like I'm thinking of as you as the main point, but you can do whatever you want.
Based off my teammates, like people I've played with, right?
Exactly.
So I'm going to go Marc Gasol at the 5. Marc Gasol at the 5. Kyrie Irving in the backcourt for sure. I don't know where in the backcourt. I just may just have 2 players in the backcourt.
You can be. You can. I think you can be a good combo guard alongside.
I agree. I agree. That's why I just said just have them in the backcourt on and off the ball.
Small ball is the thing these days.
If I was on a team with someone but we didn't play a game together, can I still use them?
Sure.
So my backcourt is Kyrie Irving and Steph Curry.
Ooh.
We're not going to be able to guard many people, but we're going to outscore everyone. Kyrie Irving and Steph Curry in the backcourt. And then at the 4, it's really difficult to leave Draymond Green off of this. I don't think I can take Draymond. Has to be my 4. The toughness, the defense he comes with. Draymond's at the 4. Marc Gasol's at the 5.
And the small forward is
small forward is. Small forward is. We might be going with a very small backcourt. Not us. I might have to go Klay Thompson at the small forward.
Well, he can guard like bigger guys.
I'm tripping. I'm sorry. What am I doing? Rudy Gay is at the small forward. What is wrong?
Okay. That is size. Yeah, that's size.
What the hell was I thinking? Rudy Gay is at the 3. I ain't tripping.
I mean, he's a 6'8", strong as a bull.
Sick Rudy Gay. Kyrie, Steph, Rudy, Draymond. Yeah, Rudy's at the 3. Yeah.
That's a vicious starting 5. And what about your all-time starting 5? Who would you put? Like which 5 players?
That's it depends. What style of basketball are we playing? Are we playing most recent style of basketball where we need spacers and shooters, or are we playing rugged, strong basketball from back in the day?
That's always the discussion that a lot of people don't want to have because you have to see which type of rules are you playing with.
Let's
say modern. I mean, we're in 2025. Let's say modern.
Are we putting people at their natural positions, or can I take a person and put them at a different position?
You're the coach.
Then if we go with people at their natural positions, the craziest thing is that if we go with natural positions, I'd never take LeBron. If we go with natural positions, if I have to put Bron at the 3, I don't take Bron. But if I can move Bron and put him on point, I'm taking Bron at the point. Michael Jordan at the 2. Kevin Durant at the 3. Actually, no, because we can play with size. And if we don't have to play a style, we're just going with the best 5 guys I can take. I am actually taking Bron at the point. Mike, let me change that because Bron is going to have the ball. He's not going to be the point, but he's going to have the ball. So LeBron's going to play the point offensively. Defensively, he's going to guard the 3. Kobe and Mike are my backcourt. Kobe Bryant, backcourt. Kevin Durant is at the 4. So even moving LeBron to the 4 and putting KD at the 3, whatever we want to do. Yeah, those 2 are forwards, and my center is Shaquille O'Neal.
This is actually one of the most interesting starting 5s that I've heard in a long time.
And if it all depends on how it goes though. If we have to worry about how those pieces fit together, now I have to change my team. You know what I mean? But if I'm going with just the best 5 I can put out there, that's my 5. But if I have to worry about like, hey, this guy can't play with this guy or this and that, now it's I need a shooter at the point who doesn't have to dribble much and do much, which is now going to be Steph Curry.
Yeah.
With natural positions, Michael Jordan at the 2, Kevin Durant's my 3. And then my 4 would probably be, if we're playing space in basketball, I'm probably going Dirk Nowitzki. We're spacing to shoot the ball, or I'm going KD at the 4, LeBron at the 3. It's so many different ways you can change it. It all depends on how you want it. But one thing that's never changing is Michael Jordan at the 2.
Yeah,
Never gonna change ever.
That's a one consistent thing when it comes to all of the.
Every time. Maybe Shaq at my 5 is going to be consistent as well.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Maybe Shaq at my 5 is going to be consistent, but if we want to go small ball, then it changes again,
Yeah, but I actually agree with you. I'll put Shaq in any type of lineup, especially when you talk about the prime Shaq. Like that was unstoppable. That was a freak of nature. You're not doing anything about him.
Nothing.
Barbecue chicken all day.
All day.
Not even close. Like, I mean, if when you think about it, he was like putting up 35 and 15 against like serious.
People carried 3 and 4 centers just because they knew they needed fouls playing against Shaq.
Yeah, at that time, centers were being paid just to hack him. Like that, the guys were getting like millions of dollars just to foul Shaq. You just sitting on the bench. You get in for 10 minutes, you foul the shit out of him, and you're out.
Yeah, and he made them all look bad when he did it, because it was Shaquille O'Neal was something. Oh my goodness! And everyone talk about Shaq. Think about young Shaq that got to Orlando as a rookie and was trim, slim, and was getting the rebound, pushing the break, and just all kind of shit. Shaq was unbelievable.
Yeah, you can there's this debate that if he was. If he stayed in shape more, if he was more dedicated to basketball, who knows what will happen? But we still saw.
I was just about to say, I don't think it matters what would have happened, because what we saw was more than enough.
Yeah, I agree. I think his career would be. I think that dominance that we saw for those like 10 years, I think that would be 15 years if he was more inclined to like
probably 12. Probably 12. Yeah, probably 12.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, he was like prime Shaq was a force of nature. Like unreal. I don't think we're gonna see a player of like that did things that was so dominant on the floor for I don't know if we're ever gonna see something like this. Maybe
I think Giannis gives us flashes of that pure dominance, but I don't think anyone will reach the level of pure dominance of the Shaq and Michael Jordan, because those dominance is just crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And it's interesting you brought up Giannis, because Shaq also said that he sees a bit of him in Giannis, especially because he's 6'11", strong as a bull, fast, he's lengthy, and he's developing his game more and more. He has a somewhat a reliable jump shot. Like I
agree that he's gotten a lot better. And the pure dominance, Shaq is going to dominate 40 out of 40 games. If you play 40 games, Shaq is going to dominate probably 39 out of the 40. Giannis is going to dominate probably 30 out of the 40. That's the only difference. Shaq is going to do it just about every single time he steps on the court. And I'm not saying Giannis isn't going to dominate, that he's not going to be good in those games. I'm just saying Shaq's dominance is, head and shoulders above everyone else's.
Yeah. Every time when I would play, 2K, I would always match. I would put a matchup between him and Wilt to see, like.
I think you're gonna say Wilt. I don't think Wilt could have withstood that pressure either.
Too bad we don't like we were never. It's
right.
I would love to see that matchup, because it's also like some say like the best athlete that ever walked this planet. So you never know. I mean, the dude averaged 50 points per game. That counts for something.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Jeremy, it was a pleasure talking with you, hearing your experiences playing overseas, playing in the NBA. You really had a tremendous career. I think a lot of young players or kids, teenagers want to become players. If they look at your career, that's a career that a lot of players would wish for. So kudos to you on your accomplishments. Good luck in the Big Three. I hope you guys stack up a few wins down the road. Especially
Yeah, we need them for sure.
especially, having Joe is out, and he's a bucket getter, even though he's in his 40s, but he's a bucket getter. So I hope you guys are able to overcome that and actually win a few games. And I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.